A pleasant morning to our respected teacher and to our dear classmates. It is a great opportunity for us all to be here. I am Micaela and I'm one of your reporters for today. At the end of this video presentation, you are expected to 1. Define what is philosophy in education. 2. Understand the aims and functions of philosophy of education. And 3. Determine the aspects of education. For our plenary activity, arrange the following scramble letters to form a word. Are you ready? Let's start. Let's check if you get the answers correctly. Do you got it right? Good job! Now, you're very much ready for our discussion for today.
This time, we're going to deepen our understanding about the following topics. First, what is philosophy? Second, what is education? Third, educational philosophy. Fourth, aims of philosophy of education. Fifth, scope of philosophy of education. Sixth, functions of philosophy of education. And lastly, major philosophies of education.
But before we proceed with our discussion today, let me ask you first this question. Does philosophy only belong in the halls of the academia? You're right. The answer is no. Philosophy belongs in the lives of everyone. It helps us solve our problems, mundane or abstract, and it helps us make better decisions by developing critical thinking, especially in the age of disinformation. The study of philosophy can be truly enriching and highly gratifying, and it is excellent preparation for lifelong learning and enhanced intellectual, political, and social existence.
So, why we study philosophy? It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. Now, are you ready to learn more about it? Great, let's start.
What is philosophy? The term philosophy comes from two Greek words, philos means love and sophia means wisdom. Philosophy means love for knowledge and passion for learning. It is a study of general and fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. Such questions are often posed as problems to be studied or resolved.
What is education? Education is acquisition of knowledge, a tool to discipline the intellect, a preparation for life, direction, and growth. It is also transmission of culture.
Educational philosophy. Educational philosophy is a set of values and beliefs about education that guide the professional behavior of an educator. It asks, what is the purpose of education? It may be defined as the application of the fundamental principles of a philosophy of life to the work of education. It offers a definite set of aims and definite set of objectives.
Aims of philosophy of education. The aims of the philosophy of education are synthesized in the multifaceted development of personality. All-round development consists of all the aspects: physical, mental, moral, social, emotional, and spiritual. Education consists in the development of all the capacities in the individual. Philosophical thought gives logic, rational sequence, and system to education. Philosophy of education is not only the application of philosophers' view to the educational problems, but also that both philosophers and educators who come together should have a common concern and commitment about the nature of education that is required to uphold the dignity of the human beings.
Scope of philosophy of education. The scope of the philosophy of education includes the critical evaluation of aims, ideas, and education, analysis of human nature, educational values, the theory of knowledge, and the relationship of education and social progress.
Functions of educational philosophy. Philosophy of education performs various functions such as A. Determining the aspects of education. B. Harmonizing old and new tradition in the field of education. C. Providing the educational planners, administrators, and educators with a progressive vision to achieve educational development. D. Preparing the young generation to face the challenges of the modern time.
In determining the aspects of education, we should consider the following. 1. Aims of education. 2. Curriculum. 3. Methods of teaching. 4. Discipline. 5. Teacher and student. And 6. Administration.
Aims of education. Philosophy of education provides original ideas regarding all aspects of education, particularly educational aims, method of teaching, curriculum, teacher, students, and etc. It guides the process of education by suggesting suitable aims from the diversities of life and selecting the means accordingly.
Curriculum. It helps curriculum designers to construct curriculum according to the need, ability, and interest of the learner.
Methods of teaching. Educational philosophy is very much helpful to adopt suitable methods of teaching. We get the knowledge of different methods of teaching, for example, learning by doing in naturalism, lecture method in idealism, and experimental method in pragmatism. It helps us choose the suitable methods of teaching according to the nature of the subject and school environment.
Discipline. Discipline reflects the philosophy of life. Idealism advocates strict discipline and self-control, whereas naturalism emphasizes freedom in natural discipline, and pragmatism stressed social discipline. These disciplines are known from the study of different educational philosophies. The knowledge of educational philosophy is essential to follow a desirable discipline.
Teacher and student. Educational philosophy determines the role and quality of teacher as well as a student in the diversified society. With the help of educational philosophy, we get knowledge pertaining to the role of the teacher as well as student in the school and relationship with each other.
Administration. The knowledge of what kind of administration we should adopt for an educational institute is determined by educational philosophy.
B. Harmonizing old and new traditions in the field of education. In the process of social development, the old tradition becomes outdated for the people. They are replaced by the new traditions. This process of replacement is not always smooth. It is faced with lots of oppositions from certain orthodox sections of the society. It must be kept in mind that every old is not outdated and every new is not perfect. Therefore, there is a need of coordinating the two in order to maintain the harmony between both. This function can be performed by philosophy of education. C. Providing the educational planners, administrators, and educators with a progressive vision to achieve educational development. Philosophy of education provides the educational planners, administrators, and educators with the right vision which guides them to attain the educational goals efficiently. It is very much useful to educational practitioner for his work and its place in the general scheme of life. D. Preparing the young generation to face the challenges of the modern time. Society is not static. It changes its value, tradition, custom, culture, etc. from time to time. Philosophy of education is a guiding, steering, and liberating force that helps young people to, and society at large, to face the challenges of the modern time. It helps the individual to understand the relationship between his goal and day-to-day routine work and develop critical attitude towards life in a diverse society. Major philosophies of education: Perennialism, Progressivism, Social Reconstructivism, Existentialism. Perennialism: to develop the mind of rational beings to control our emotions. Perennialists urge the students read the great books and develop their understanding of the philosophical concept that underlie human knowledge. Progressivism: active rather than passive learning. The whole focus is students, to develop the curriculum according to the personal experiences, interests, and needs of the students. It should be relevant to the students in order for them to learn. Social Reconstructivism: community-based learning addressing real problems, combining study and social action. Believe that education can and should go hand in hand with ameliorating social problems. Active participation in the change of the world. Existentialism: it is derived from a powerful belief in human free will and the need for individuals to shape their own futures. Emphasizes the ability of an individual to determine the course and nature of his life and the importance of personal decision making. Students are encouraged to understand and appreciate their uniqueness and to assume responsibility for their actions. I hope that you learned a lot from topics we discussed today. And now, to test that learning, please get ready to answer our short evaluation. Are you ready? Great! Let's start! And that's all for this report. And I'm Amerto de la Peña, leaving words from Aristotle. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Thank you for watching.